units for hundreds of combinations using just one outlet for slow cooking or to keep food warm. Hook it up, heat it up, and eat it up. And they stack up for easy storage. So now it's easy to be the hostess with the mostest. Get your crock-pot hookup system today at a retailer near you.
Criminal charges have been dropped against two young Florida girls who were accused of taunting a 12-year-old classmate, so much so that that classmate ended up killing herself. One of the accused girls, 13-year-old Caitlin Roman, is now speaking publicly about all of this. She says she feels bad about the death of Rebecca Sedgwick, who was once her best friend. But as she spoke this morning with my colleague Chris Cuomo of CNN's New Day, Caitlin said she wants to turn this tragedy into something positive.
I want to start a campaign. I want to help other kids stop bullying. I want to do lots of things.
Can you let me make a man?
And I want to see if I can work with Omega Man, the anti-bullying guy.
Yeah, as somebody who you understand the problem. You may not have been the problem, but now you understand it by living through all this. And what do you want to tell other kids? If they're listening and they're saying, I don't know what happened there, but I can say what I want, and that's just how kids are. What do you say to that?
Well, I want to tell them that you can bully and maybe not even know that you're doing it. And you just need to look at yourself and say, wait, am I doing something wrong here?
CNN's legal analysts and legal analyst and defense attorney Danny Salas and Mark O'Mara are here to talk through some of these very tough issues. Danny, let me begin with you. Her attorney, Jose Baez, says that young woman has been traumatized twice. Number one, by the death of her best friend. Number two, by all of this attention being made out to be the bad guy. And that there was, quote, zero evidence against her. How do you get charged if there's zero evidence against you?
Well, I'll tell you, public policy-wise, what the prosecution must have been doing in the sheriff's department, they're trying to use the criminal justice system to achieve something it was never designed to do. It's not designed to take juveniles and give them records. The sheriff's words said it himself. He said something to the effect that these charges allowed her to get counseling. That's not the purpose of the criminal justice system. The bottom line is we're taking an event that is very sad, somebody killing themselves, which is an independent intervening event, and we're saying we're looking around to punish someone, and we're using criminal justice to achieve some social effect that it was never designed to do.
I agree with you on all of that, but that almost is retrospectively looking, and I think my curiosity, and Mark, maybe you can weigh in on this, was the sheriff thinking that in going into the charges, or is he explaining the dropping of them as that? So there's a big difference.
I think he's explaining the dropping of it. I think when he looked at this case, he said the only law that probably applies is stalking. And stalking is when you intentionally harass somebody else with negative intent. And there's no question, at least Guadalupe, the other woman, maybe not the 12-year-old, but the 14-year-old, when you look at her text, there's no question that was harassment in my opinion. I don't think the charges should have dropped against her. But maybe there is another statute that needs to be considered for that type of behavior.
Just quickly, Danny, there have been all sorts of threats Jose Baez has been making about going after the sheriff for this. It is so difficult to go after the government.
It is.
In this particular case, do you see any outlet whereby he might actually have an opening?
Just like you said, it is so exceedingly difficult to bring a case for malicious prosecution against the government. You would have to show that they intentionally just went off the reservation. Yeah, Jose Baez may think there's a case there, and based on the discovery, who knows? But as long as he had some good faith basis for the charges, for the most part, it's good to be the king. The government is usually immune.
Usually the way. All right, well, Danny Salas, thank you. I know you have a birthday coming this weekend, so wish you happy birthday in advance.
Thank you, guys.
For being on today. And Mark, I don't want you to leave right away because we had a little bit of news obviously breaking, and I know you sort of hang your head and you think, oh, not again, not again. This is becoming my albatross. But your former client, George Zimmerman, back in the news again, arrested earlier this week at another domestic dispute. His wife, Shelley, actually sent the divorce papers to that courthouse. She also spoke publicly with one very famous Katie Couric. I want to run a quick sound of that.
He was lying about a lot of things, and he became like a pacing lion, very unpredictable. Every single day it was like adrenaline going through my body, constantly not knowing what it was going to be like from day to day.
So
those who want to hate George Zimmerman are still going to hate him, and they're going to have the reasons why to hate him. But I think Shelby's testimony just then, or statement, was testament to what George has gone through. There's no question that what happened that night, aside from what happened to Trayvon Martin in his passing, was traumatic to George Zimmerman. Not only the fact that he had to kill somebody, and when cops kill people, we give them treatment, we give them counseling, we watch them, we're very careful with them. When Mr. Zimmerman had to kill somebody, and the jury said it was justified, and all the facts support that, now we treat him and we vilify him. Now he's in hiding for a year and a half. He is the most hated man in America, loved by some, hated by most. You take a 28-year-old who entered into this situation with no intent whatsoever and do that to him for a year and a half. I'm not explaining domestic violence occurrences if that happened, but the reality is he has had an enormous amount of trauma over the past 18 months, and maybe this and what he's doing now is some of the fallout. I think we need to at least understand that part of it.
And it should be noted as well, you're not his attorney anymore. You're not speaking on behalf of him at this point.
Just an explanation of what
An
may happen.
observation of someone who obviously knows him a heck of a lot better than I do. And I've said it before, and I will say it again. I've watched you litigate that entire case. You are a tremendous attorney. You are very good at what you do. And that was a very fascinating case to watch.
Yes, it
It's
was.
always good to have you here.
Good to be here.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. All right, so here is something else we're working on. Your mother probably told you to be aware of your surroundings at all times. Maybe